Hello friends, this video on NEET Ecology is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Smog. The term smog itself is derived from the two words smoke and fog. So smog is it looks like a fog, but it is a darker fog with smoke, dust and gases. Now the gases which are primarily present in smog are the oxides of sulfur and the oxides of nitrogen. So these gases are the primary constituents of smog. Now, when we talk about smog, smog is actually like a secondary pollutant. Now, what is secondary pollutant? So, secondary pollutant are those which are formed by reaction amongst the primary pollutants. For example, the oxides of nitrogen are primary pollutants. The oxides of sulfur are primary pollutants. Now, when some reaction happens between the primary pollutants, they give rise to secondary pollutants. For example, ozone is a secondary pollutant. Nitric acid or acid rain is again a secondary pollutant because they are formed by reaction amongst the primary pollutants. So smog consists of secondary pollutants. Now there are two types of smog, classical smog and photochemical smog. So we are going to discuss about these two types of smog in more detail. So the classical smog is also known as the London smog, because the smog in London in 1952 had become quite famous, and from there this concept of that time itself that type of smog was called as classical smog, and sometimes it is also referred to as the London smog. Similarly, photochemical smog is also known as the Los Angeles smog, and this famous Los Angeles smog happened in the year of 1946. So these are the two types of smog which we will discuss about. So let us start with classical smog. So it is a coal-induced smog. That is, it is caused by the use of sulfur-containing fossil fuels like coal. So burning of coals, which happen in a lot of industries because coal is a fossil fuel and it is a rich source of energy. But since coal contains a lot of sulfur, so burning these coals releases oxides of sulfur. And that is why this type of smog is also known as sulfurous smog. So the name sulfurous smog was given because this type of smog results from high concentration of sulfur oxides in the air. And what causes high concentration of sulfur oxides in the air? Use of sulfur containing fossil fuels like coal. So burning of coal releases a lot of sulfur dioxides in the air. So this is a coal-induced smog. Now, where do we see these kind of smog? So this is generally seen in moist, cool regions, especially during winters. Now, some of the requirements for this smog to take place are low temperature. So it generally happens at low temperature. That is why it is seen during winters. Moisture, that is presence of water in the atmosphere, dust particles, smoke, sulfur dioxides and industrial emissions. So all of these things are required for classical smog to take place. This type of smog also affects the lungs, so that's like a harmful effect of classical smog, and this is also known as reducing atmosphere smog because of its chemical composition which has a reducing effect on the atmosphere. That is why it is called reducing atmosphere smog. Now let us talk about the photochemical smog, which is the light-induced smog. So what do we mean by light-induced smog? So this type of smog basically arises from the nitrogen oxides which are emitted by automobiles, and these nitrogen oxides, they undergo photochemical reactions in the lower atmosphere. That means they undergo chemical reactions in presence of light. Now, since it happens in presence of light, because these reactions take place in presence of light, that is why it is light-induced smog or photochemical smog. So, these type of smog is seen more in urban areas, because in urban areas you have more automobiles, therefore you have more nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere. So what are the photochemical reactions that take place in the atmosphere? So let us have a quick look at the photochemical reactions. Now all these reactions take place in presence of light. For example, the nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere, this nitrogen oxide in presence of the ultraviolet radiation gets converted into nitrogen oxide plus oxygen. Now this same oxygen combines with this oxygen atom basically, which is released here in this equation. This combines with the oxygen gas to form ozone. And what is ozone? Ozone is a secondary pollutant, right? Similarly, another reaction that often takes place is the oxides of nitrogen, which it combines with the hydrocarbons and also with oxygen to form NO2 plus PAN. What is PAN? It is peroxyacyl nitrates. So this is peroxyacyl nitrates. So this peroxyacyl nitrates is also a secondary pollutant. So you see, in case of photochemical smog, many secondary pollutants are also involved. Now this type of smog happens as a result of these photochemical reactions, and all these reactions take place in presence of light. That is why it is light induced smog, and that is why it is called photochemical smog. Now the requirements for photochemical smog are quite opposite to that of the classical smog. Like it needs high temperature, it needs light energy, nitrogen oxides and secondary pollutants. Now for photochemical smog to take place, you do not need dust particles or smoke in the air. You also do not need low temperature. You do not need sulfur dioxide. So the requirements for photochemical smog and classical smog are quite different. Now photochemical smog affects eyes, like it can cause eye irritation or watering in the eyes. This type of smog is known as the oxidizing atmosphere smog because it has an oxidizing effect on the atmosphere. So that way, you see, classical smog and photochemical smog are two different things. Classical smog is reducing atmosphere smog. Photochemical smog is oxidizing atmosphere smog. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.